FlossTube. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Soph, known as Soph here on FlossTube or on Instagram. This is my little baby Molly. She just wandered in to have a nose because I've changed where I usually film just because of the lighting today, so I hope this works out. I am testing out this space because I'm hoping to change this into my studio because it's a little bit bigger. What do you think, Moles? I think she likes it so far. Are you going to stay in this whole video? She's not sure. Right, are you going to say goodbye to everyone? Say bye. Go on then. So it's been about 2 weeks since I last filmed. No, why do I keep saying 2 weeks? It's been 4 weeks since I last filmed. So I've got a few things I just wanted to show you all. For those who are new here, this is my channel all about cross stitch. I show my work in progresses, any finishes I have, and talk mostly about cross stitch. Sometimes I'll talk about books or TV, depending what I've been up to while I've been stitching as well. So it's been a little while since I filmed, and the reason being is I had 3 workshops that I was teaching throughout the community in different libraries, teaching kids how to cross stitch. So most of my time was preparing a lesson plan for them and just being a bit nervous, if I'm honest. Never taught kids before, I've taught adults, but it was a learning curve for me, and I just wanted to put all my energy into doing that. So that's the reason I haven't been on FlossTube for a little while. So please forgive me. It was cross stitch related, and I'll be able to show you all the things that I did with them. So they had 2 options. They could either stitch a love heart onto plastic canvas, really simple pattern that I designed, or stitch moon and stars and then turn it into a card. So the heart could either be turned into a card as well, or they could just have like a dangly heart. They could put up in a window or wherever they want to hang, really. So they really enjoyed doing this. I did find that because this is plastic, I thought it would be easier for them to stitch on, but because the holes are so big, I think it's like 9 count, the needles would just fall straight through, and it was hard for them to grasp the cross stitch technique. So probably won't be using this in the future, but I have got some ideas for me to use the material that they didn't use. Some of them did, but any material that was left I'm gonna try and turn into other things, so I will show you that at a later date. That's why I've been quite quiet, and they're the cross stitches that I designed with them, or designed for them. So I wanted to start with showing you one of my new starts / finishes. I did this last night. So this is a pattern that I designed for, that I sell in kits, and I've just put a PDF pattern up on Etsy. So this is, it says Cariad, and Cariad is Welsh for love, and it's stitched in the Pride colours. Being Pride Month, I thought it was fitting just to release the PDF pattern. You can buy my kit online as well, and in local stores, but the reason I restitched this is because the local store I stock it in sold out of the tester, so someone bought this fully stitched. So I'm just stitching it up to restock. So if you do like this pattern and you're thinking about buying it, for the month of June, I've decided to release this pattern as a PDF on Etsy. Probably keep it up past June, but for the month of June, every PDF pattern that is bought, I will donate £1 to Stonewall Cymru, which is a charity that helps LGBTQ+ members of Wales. So if you are interested, go check it out, have a look, and donate. I will be posting on my Instagram at the end of June or beginning of July, if I have had any sales, how much I've donated to charity, so that will be on there for people to see. So that is my only finish for this this past month. I have been stitching, as well as doing the workshops. I've just been busy sorting out our garden. So our garden is only a small little space, but it was horrible for years, and I was really ashamed of it, and recently we just had it done, and we've been buying furniture and little bits here and there to just do it up so we can actually have somewhere to sit this summer. and it's looking really lovely at the moment. There's still a lot to do. I'm funneling my time and my money in there at the moment, so I don't have a lot of haul to show you today, but I will show you some things. And just to let you know that as well as stitching, I will be doing that. So this is why I haven't got many other finishes. So this pattern I talked about on my last video and probably the video before. I was a bit obsessed with it, and I still am. I spent most of my time in May stitching this, or a big portion of my time. It is the Widow Frog by Night Spirit Studio. So this is what I've stitched so far. You can see her little feet popping out from under her dress. She's got her hand on her handkerchief, and I've made a start on the table, and the bottom of her dress is pretty much done. There's some like water here. I think there's some lilies that need to be added in as well. So that is the Widow Frog. I started stitching this on the 8th of May. It's on black Ada 18 count that I just had from Stash, and it's with all the called for DMC. So this is 39.4% complete. I've stitched 2,107 stitches, and I have a total of 3,242 left. So my aim is to put a lot more stitching into this. I've picked it up again now, and it's making me itch to finish stitching that. So I think this will be on the cards for tonight. So I'm really excited, and just the way it's turning out is lovely. So look at the blank spaces on the dress. They form like little flies, and I just think it's really cool. So yeah, I'm looking to find a vintage frame for this, quite a gothic frame. I've got one in mind. I've not seen it in any store, but I'm going to keep searching, and I'll let you know if I find anything. I don't want to just put in a standard frame. I think it's so lovely. There just needs to be its own thing. One thing I will say, stitching on black Ada, it's a nightmare for picking up fluff, and my dog, as you saw just then, doesn't have much fur, and she doesn't molt that much either, but apparently she does on black Ada. So if anyone else has that problem, yeah, let me know. I know a lot of people have said about like cat hair and things getting in theirs, and I've never noticed it before, but clearly it happens. So that's my first and only, well, that's my second new start. I will warn you, there's someone strimming outside, so if you do hear any noises, it's not me, it's a strimmer outside, and I'm trying to close all the windows so you don't hear it, but if you do hear it, I apologise. The next pattern I've been stitching on is Mushrooms by SamXStitch. So this is where I've got to so far. So the last time I showed you I had 6 mushrooms stitched up. I'll pop a picture on the left here just to show you where I was, and I've just stitched 3 more, so I've got 9 in total, and I think that means that there is 6 more left to stitch. So I'll be popping on a couple more of those in the next 2 weeks. Ideally I want to do 1 per week, but we'll see how we go. But I absolutely love the red and yellow, the Amanita Muscaria mushroom, I think that's how you pronounce it. There's a few other red ones that I'll pop in there, and I just think it adds a little bit of colour to all like the autumnal colours. So that one, I've really been enjoying doing that actually. I think I had a night where I just stitched 3 in a row because I was catching up, and I actually wanted to carry on and finish it, but I had some other stitching that I needed to do, so I stopped myself. But I'm really enjoying that. I know that SamXStitch has a lot more similar patterns. There's one that I really like, which is a moth one, so it's loads of different moths in a similar style, so you stitch each one individually, and it's just so nice rather than having a huge pattern every time, just being able to complete like one part of it as you go, almost like a sampler. The next pattern I wanted to show you that I've been stitching on is Carolyn. This is called Eclipse. So this is part of the hashtag #ManInMaySal. I'll pop a picture of what it was like last time. I believe I only had this bit stitched and this square. So full disclosure, I stitched for a couple of days at the beginning of May, even though it was hashtag #ManInMaySal, and then I kind of got distracted with the garden, other stitching, preparing for the workshops or whatever, so I didn't do much. But I picked it up the last couple of days of May, and I've added quite a few more stitches into it. So it's looking really good. This is what it would look like finished. So it is just a repetitive pattern. I think you just stitch this 4 times so it makes a square. But I'm really enjoying it because it's so repetitive and it's just like bunches of colour. It's so nice to just stitch and you don't have to put too much concentration into it and do lots of counting. So I'm really enjoying this one and I just love the colours as well. This is stitched on 18 count navy Aida and I've got a 28.2% complete. So that's a total of 4,551 stitches and I've got 11,578 left to do. And that's a total of 29 hours and 19 minutes stitched so far. Maybe 120 hours to complete it. That's just really bad maths in my head, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to the end and if I'm anywhere near close. Yep, so that's my third whip. There's one whip I haven't touched at all, which is the Queen whip, the Freddie Mercury one. That is going to come into play in the next month, I hope. I'm going to pop on the Bohemian Rhapsody film and I think I'm going to bring it out and just put as many stitches in as I can while I watch the film, and it might just spark my interest again. There's a lot of block colours, so I'm wanting something slightly different to stitch, but I think it'll look lovely when it's finished. This is what it will look like finished, but I won't show you the progress because it hasn't changed since my last video. That's one I will be concentrating on going forward. But my other whip that I have been working on, which is my only other whip, is the Wanderer SAL. It is quite a big whip, so I will try and show you as best as I can. I might have to stand up, heaven forbid. Apologies, I've got such a squeaky chair. It's not my back, it's not me, don't worry. I'm not that old yet. So this is a vintage cabinet that's stitched in black work, and then each month, on the 16th of every month, a bottle is released, and then in the bottle is a country. So on the first two, the first one was Venice, and the second one is Cairo. And there's some detailing on the frames. There's a compass, there's a key, and there's the world map. And then at the bottom here, where I haven't stitched, there is going to be an ink bottle. So that's the only thing I need to finish at the moment because the other one hasn't been released. I won't be able to show you what it's like completed because it is a SAL, so it'll come out each month. So I don't know what it's going to look like finished either. But I am going to finish this and put the ink bottle in. And yeah, by next time I think I will have stitched the third bottle as well. And hopefully the frame will all be completed. But I'm really enjoying doing the black work. It's something that I've never done before and it's just so nice, and it's a change from cross stitch. It just feels like I've picked up a new craft but with the same materials and similar rules. But yeah, it is nice to try. So if you want to try that out, it is hashtag the Wanderer SAL. Have a look on Facebook and Instagram. Loads of other people are stitching it and it's really nice to see their versions. So mine is stitched on 16 count Aida and it's in beige, I believe. I was going to look at linens and things like that, but because it's my first black work, I didn't want to pick a smaller count that would change the pattern in any way. And because there's lots of diagonal lines and lots of back stitch, I just thought it's best to do the called for, so that's what I went for on this one. Anyway, so I don't have much haul, as I said. Most of my money's been funneled into my garden at the moment, but I was in Sainsbury's, wandering around, having a look at the stationery section, as I usually do because I'm obsessed with stationery. Had a look at the book section, and then slowly meandered towards the magazines. Yeah, I haven't bought a magazine in so long. And I just thought, I'm going to have a look at what their cross-stitch magazines are like. And I had a look and I fell in love with this World of Cross-Stitching magazine. And the reason I fell in love with it is not because of the horse, even though he's pretty cool, was this little guy, which I will show you bigger now, which is a blackwork shark. And then this is like a tile basically, that you stitch. Reminded me a bit of Carolyn Manning, so I thought, yeah, definitely gonna buy that because I'm on a spree. One thing I did love is it didn't come in plastic, which is one of the reasons I chose it over other magazines, but it came in paper. So this is like the sleeve that it came in, and it had a free gift, and I just felt like a child again, and I thought, I need a free gift. This is why I thought it's probably nicer to buy it in person than get the PDF patterns, because you get little free gifts. Maybe, maybe not, but I don't know if it'll be a regular thing, but I just wanted to treat myself. So the free gift that I got was this lovely little bookmark. So I'm really excited to stitch this up. Lighthouses to me, either like horror movies or whimsical romance books. So, and I kind of read both and everything in between. So I'm going to stitch this, and that'll be my bookmark when I'm reading anything other than the Kindle, which I don't read very often, but I am reading on the Kindle at the moment. So that's a really cute design. I'm not sure if it says who it's by here. No, it doesn't say. That's a shame. Well, it's a free gift. The issue number, if you're interested, is issue 334 of the World of Cross Stitch. So that's a free gift I got. And I just want to show you a couple of the patterns that I am going to be stitching from here. So this pattern kind of took me by surprise because it's not one I would usually stitch, but I kind of fell in love with it. So it is Country Retreat by Carol Thornton, and I just love it because it reminds me of little like English countryside houses that I've gone past while I'm on like camping or something like that. And I just love the colours as well, and there's like little stained glass windows, there's a little river that's running past, and I just think it's so cute. I definitely am going to stitch that one. Yeah, like I said, it's not really my style, but I really like it, so that's definitely going to be on my to stitch list, which is forever getting longer. This is the tiled pattern that I told you about. So it's got a lot of back stitch in it, which I'm not particularly looking forward to, but I really like the finished piece. And you could probably just stitch one by one square, so you could stitch one square, move on to another pattern, and you know, then stitch another square, back stitch it, so you don't have to do all the back stitch at the end. So I think that would be quite good to do. So this is a work of art by Doreen Jones. And the star of the show, the reason I bought this magazine was this guy. I'm quite scared of sharks, but I'm not scared of him. So I feel like that should be stitched. And the black work on him is incredible, so I'd really like to try that. I was thinking about getting like a linen fabric and stitch it on there, maybe like a dark mottled blue colour so it looks like the depths of the ocean. This is Creature of the Deep by Fiona Baker. So those are the patterns that I'd love to stitch out of that book. And I don't usually buy the magazines, like I said, but if I've got 4 patterns out of it and I paid £6, that was kind of worth it for me. I know it's a gamble because you don't know what's going to be in there each week, and I know it's cheaper when you do like a membership, but I've already got so many patterns. I don't want to have more patterns added on each month that I don't particularly choose. Yeah, so I really liked some of those patterns in there. So that is what I've bought physically. I haven't bought anything other than some other PDF patterns, so I'll have to talk you through them. I will be looking at my iPad when I do so, because I'll get things wrong otherwise, but I'll put pictures up here of the finished artwork of what they're going to look like. The first one I wanted to show you is actually free, so I didn't purchase this, and I got it a little while ago, but it's one I wanted to show you because I'm intending to stitch it soon. It is this pattern, and it's from a company called Lazy Daisy Cross Stitch. So it's a free pattern you can download. I think I followed a link on her Instagram. And I just love the sentiment that says be kind. I'm struggling with my jacket here because there's something I want to show you. So I have a tattoo on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. It says be kind here. That's a sentiment I live by in my life. If you can be anything in life, you should be kind, and that's what I think. So I will be stitching this pattern. I'd like to get some like psychedelic 70s pattern, fabric for it to go on. It's only a small one, so hopefully I can get that stitched up in the next coming weeks. But I need to kit up for it first. So I just wanted to show you, if you do like that pattern, go follow her. She's got some other lovely patterns on her Etsy store, and yeah, you can download it for free. The other patterns that I bought are all from one shop on Etsy, and it was just a Saturday night scroll fest for me, and I ended up buying 6 patterns. They're all very similar. They're all like watercolour patterns, but I couldn't choose between them, and they had a deal on. And after I'd bought them, they messaged me and said, oh, you can have one for free because you bought so many, which was the 6th one I got. I think they had a deal on and I didn't read it properly, standard. So they said, tell me which one you'd like for free and we'll send that along. So I got 6 patterns in total, and they also told me that every pattern that I bought, part of the money would be donated to Ukrainian families that have been affected by the war, which I thought was a really good cause as well. So they're called Laser Arts Designs and they're on Etsy, so I'll pop them below so you can go check them out. So the first pattern that actually drew me to this company was this guy. So this is called Watercolour Cowboy and Retro Sunset. So I just love the colours in this. Orange is one of my favourite colours, and we love Western in this house. We have, as I've explained before, we've got cowboy hats hanging on our wall. We have horseshoes. It's just the kind of style that we like, and it would look fantastic in our living room. There's a few bits of artwork that I don't particularly like in my living room anymore, but they're filling gaps. So it's something I want to replace. So that is one that I will stitch eventually. One thing about these patterns are they are quite confetti heavy, and I don't particularly know how big they are. I should have really researched that, but I don't mind either way what size they are. It'd be good practice for me if they are full coverage. It's just something I wanted to stitch, and I didn't mind how big they were. So the next pattern I bought was this pattern. It's called Watercolour Japanese Landscape. And the reason I bought it is because it was one of Johnny's favourites, and he was like, please, please, please stitch that for me. And I was like, okay, I will. But when I downloaded it, I realised that the white background is actually all stitched. So I think I'm going to cheat with this one, and I'm going to get a white linen, stitch all the black and the reds onto the fabric, and then just see where I am, and if I need to stitch any of the white, I will. So the next one that I bought was Watercolour Retro Sunset, which I'll pop up here, which I kind of bought to go along with the cowboy. I just thought both of them in my living room would look really cool. I've added a lot of stitchy time on by buying all these patterns, but it is what it is. I'll get to them eventually. Just love the colours in this. The sun looks really cool, and it just reminds me of like paintings I used to see in my granddad's warehouse, because he used to sell like paintings and china and things like that, and it's just vintage looking, and I really liked it. So this is another one that I really want to stitch going forward. And there's 2 more. The next one is Watercolour River Mountains, which I'll pop up here. This one reminds me so much of Bon Iver's cover, one of their album covers, and I absolutely love that picture. So when I saw this, I just thought I really have to stitch it, and I was so torn between which ones to buy. I'm kind of glad I bought all of them because I get a free one as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, it also reminds me of Red Dead Redemption. If you've ever played that on Xbox or PlayStation, it's just like one of the towns you just stroll into on your horse, and yeah, it just looks like somewhere I'd love to be. The final pattern that I got is another watercolour one, surprise, surprise, and this is what it looks like, and it's called Lake and Forest Watercolour. They're all by the same company, and I just love this one. It reminds me of Brecon up near us. There's a lake there with the island in the middle, and I love the murmuration of birds at the top. I just love sitting on a summer's day and just watching birds flying over. It's something I love doing when we go camping or when I'm sat in my garden, and I just thought it was really nice. I'm probably going to curse it when I come to it because it is confetti heavy. So we shall see. I will let you know when I start stitching that one and how difficult it is. So that's all my stitching stuff that I wanted to show you. For stitching plans going forward, as I said, I want to finish the Quarter Neon Creations Wanderer SAL cabinet. So hopefully that'll be finished by the next time I show it to you, and we'll have the third bottle stitched up because that'll be coming out on June 16th. I'd like to put some more stitches into the Widow Frog, and I'd like to do more stitching on the Manning SAL. Add a couple more mushrooms on, so I'm hoping for 2 more mushrooms, and I would also like to do some stitching on my Queen cross stitch. I don't want to add any more to my whip count because I'm comfortable with where I am at the moment. I'm finding that my time is a bit stretched on all of them, so this is a comfortable number for me at present, but famous last words. That's all my stitching stuff that I wanted to talk about. If you're only here for stitching stuff, you can sign off now. Thank you so much for watching. But if you want to stay, all I'm going to talk about is a couple of books and some programs, but there's not much. I've been watching some programs, but nothing of note that I want to tell you about. Apart from, I did watch Selling Sunset, so I completed that within a couple of days, and it was okay. I think I got to that point now where they're being so mean to each other. I'm not sure if I want to keep watching it. It's entertaining, but it's not, they're not my kind of people, so it was quite difficult to watch. I also watched Queer Eye, which I absolutely loved. It's just so lovely. It's such a lovely program. It makes you so happy, ugly cry, you know, all of the above. That was really nice to watch. But other than that, not much else apart from the new documentary of Waco, Texas. We've started watching, but we've only 1 episode in. So far, it's really good. We watched the previous one, and it goes into more detail of what happened, and it is more harrowing than other documentaries have made it out to be. So that's been quite an interesting watch, but we've got quite a few more to go. Other than that, I have got back into reading. So rather than picking up my phone in the mornings and just scrolling through Instagram, I've decided to go back to reading in the mornings like I tried in January. So I pick up my book instead and just sit and read for an hour, because I'm up way before I need to be, and I just sit in bed and drink my coffee usually and scroll through Instagram. So it's so much more beneficial for me to do that with a book. I started reading a book called Great Circle. So it's by Maggie Shipstead. It was shortlisted for the 2021 Booker Prize, and I was suggested this book by a childhood friend of mine. She said it was really good because I'd been into Wild by Cheryl Strayed and Into the Wild. She suggested it to me and said, I think you'll enjoy it because it's like an adventure story. It is fiction, unlike the other two, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm only like 25% of the way through it, but it's really good. So I'm going to read you a little excerpt from the blurb because I don't want to butcher such a good story. So it just says, from her days as a wild child in the Prohibition America to the blitz and glitz of wartime London, from the rugged shores of New Zealand to a lonely ice shelf in Antarctica, Marianne Graves is driven by a need for freedom and danger. Determined to live an independent life, she resists the pull of her childhood sweetheart, bears an obsession with flight that consumes her most. On the verge of fulfilling her greatest ambition to circumnavigate the globe from pole to pole, Marianne crash lands in a perilous wilderness of ice. And then over half a century later, it follows a story of Hadley Baxter, who finds her life kind of intertwined with hers. And I think she plays, I haven't got that far yet, but I think she plays her in a movie, in a role, and she just realised how similar they are. So far I'm loving it, and I would suggest it. I don't know what it's going to turn out like, so I'll let you know once I finish. So I just wanted to mention a FlossTuber that mentioned me in the latest video. I swear I'm stitching. I watched your video and I really enjoyed it. Had a look at all the quilts that you're making, which are fantastic. And I just want to say you've almost enabled me to buy that whale pattern. If I hadn't just bought that shark, I think I'd be stitching that whale. It's really cute and I can't wait to see the finished product. and I just want to apologise for enabling you to buy that storage for your beads, but considering you got it bought for you, I don't think I should apologise that much really. Maybe I should say you're welcome. But it's lovely to see your channel, and I'm going to be catching up on all of your other stitching stuff and quilting things, and you've kind of enabled me to want to try other crafts, so thank you. I hope you enjoy your holiday. There's not many other mentions I wanted to go through. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting me, watching my videos and liking, subscribing, following me on Instagram. It means a lot. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much, and I will catch you again in 2 weeks hopefully. So I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.